February 2024 was a long time ago, wasn't it? For being the longest revealed to release window in the entirety of Pokemon, a lot was riding on this entry in the franchise. Taking place in a single city was a choice that not a lot of people really thought the series needed at the time. Adding a brand new battle system, too, really felt like the series was going in the right direction. But was this really the right choice for the franchise? This game is the follow-up to Scarlet and Violet, the worst received launch in all of Pokemon to date. With its terrible graphics and its poor performance, and many other things that plague Scarlet and Violet, such as the world forming around you, Pokemon needed something that would get the franchise in a better shape than it was. Instead, we have a lot of the same problems that plagued the series for quite a bit. Poor graphics, very weird visuals, some glitches, bugs, etc, etc. Luckily though, this game runs. Despite all of that, this is probably the most fun Pokemon game I played in a while. I poured roughly 80 hours into the game and beaten the main story before I wrote this review. I'm not going to make a review of something I've not poured my time and money into and call it a day. I'm going to get straight to the point. Pokémon Legends Z-A is a solid 8.5 or 8 out of 10. The score doesn't really matter though at the end of the day because my thoughts are the most important. I have quite a lot of problems with this game, as I will go over, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say the negatives outweigh the positive. Pokemon Legends Z-A is just plain fun. No matter how many people on social media can tell me otherwise, fun is the best word I can describe it. To me at least, Legends Z-A shows that Game Freak does actually care about this franchise. They care about the Pokemon and the characters as a whole. It's just unfortunate. First, let's start with which version you should play and why it's 100% the Switch 2 version. I need to justify my $500 purchase. The game itself, on the Switch 1, runs pretty consistently at a solid 30 FPS and a 180p, but it can drop in frames. While the Switch 2 is upscaled at 4K 60 FPS, and there are some notable differences between the textures, where the Switch 2 has higher output. There's still low textures in the Switch 2 version though. And I've been playing on the Nintendo Switch 2 edition for this review. I haven't noticed any weird problems. Like I said, the only thing I really noticed is the shortened textures and the lower textures. Like, that's all I've really noticed. Other than that, it was pretty smooth. I had really one instance of a frame drop at the very end of the game. Other than that, I think it was pretty solid. Before we begin, spoilers ahead. Please play the game if you haven't already, or just watch a story recap of the game. I'm going to be talking as if you know the story from the beginning to the very end of the post game. I'm not going to be cutting around horses. This is going to be like a 30-minute review of the story. I don't care about doing that. I just want it to be like in context. You know the story as I talk about it. But other than that, I'm still going to be broad because I don't want to retell the story. That's not my point. But again, spoilers ahead because I will be talking about things that are spoilers. Just wanted to put that out there. The graphics are the main talking point about this game right now, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Lumio City does not look that appealing. I know, hot take everybody, but the environments do not look generally appealing. Using the same Scarlet and Violet art style after the fiasco that was Scarlet and Violet is a really bold choice. I understand Game Freak wants to go in the more realistic setting for the future of the franchise, but it's just not that appealing and I wish they would go back. Flat textures that don't blend well, really low textures. I think we get the point. I wish Pokemon would put more effort into the environmental graphics. It doesn't need to be crazy or anything. It doesn't need to be God of War levels, but some effort would be really nice. There was very noticeable screen tear in my playthrough of Legends Z-A. I couldn't really understand why it happened or how. Maybe it was just because of how I hooked up my HDMI to my TV, but it was very noticeable. I just wanted to mention it. I don't know if anybody else had this problem. I did, and it was very distracting. Voice acting is solely needed in Pokemon. They want to use these cool cutscenes to emphasize the plot, which is completely fine, but they'll never hit the same unless they are voiced. We don't need voice acting for every line in the game, we just need enough to really sink in with these cool ass characters they want to make. It's weird because they add lip syncing into the game, but they don't add voice acting. I also think the story was kind of bland. The characters are really cool, and I will talk about them later, but what was the actual story of Z-A? The problem I have with it is the actual story really only picks up at the last hour of the game. You're gonna get these cool side things with these characters, but you're not really gonna know the story until the last hour or so of the game. It kind of just makes the story feel kind of worthless, and just thrown in at the end, for the game to end. And I want to move on from the story to the gameplay. The gameplay itself is really fun. There are a lot of problems I have with it, which grind my gears, as we'll get to. But the first thing I want to mention is the confusion status. I don't understand how it works, and it doesn't really work at all. They got rid of taking damage from confusion, which negates the whole purpose of confusion in the first place. Confusion is completely worthless in this game. There's barely any consequences from using it. In normal Pokemon, you would use Dragon Claw over Outrage, as Outrage has the confusion status, and you don't really want to use confusion that often. In Z-A, since confusion is so meaningless, it doesn't really matter, just use it. There's no consequence to it. Which also brings up another point to this problem. I don't like the move system in Z-A. I think it is very flawed and there are a lot of problems with it. For example, in normal Pokemon, which move would you use? Flamethrower or Fire Blast? In normal Pokemon, you would choose Flamethrower if you want more consistent 100 base accuracy damage, or Fire Blast if you want more damage but with less accuracy. In Z-A, it doesn't really matter. Each has a cooldown, with Fire Blast having 2 more seconds of the cooldown, but it's not really gonna matter if it's gonna reset anyway. And that's the main problem. A lot of these moves that you would choose get outclassed, and it doesn't feel like that in normal Pokemon. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. While in this game, a lot of the strengths and weaknesses are just which move takes longer. Okay, it's not gonna matter. It's gonna reset after a Pokemon dies anyways. To me, it feels like they're still trying to add a turn-based system inside of a more action-oriented system. Which, it's fine, you can add some elements to it, but they're not going to mesh in well because they have 2 completely different ways of play, and I don't feel like it works fully in Z-A. This is increasingly noticeable with the whole 1,000 battles to get the shiny charm at the very end of the game. It is the most frustrating thing that Pokemon has ever done. You're never going to come close to it at all on your journey. I did every single side quest I possibly could before beating the main story, and I never got close. I did everything in the post game, I never got close. You're just not going to get close to it. It took me roughly 6 to 8 hours just of grinding to actually unlock it. I just didn't like it. Mindless grinding to me is not fun, and doing that was not fun, and doing all these 1,000 battles made me realize how flawed the Pokemon battle system was. It's fun if you don't have to do 500 of it just for the sake of completing everything. If you had to do maybe 500 or so, that would have been fine, but 1,000 really sucks. That is every single negative I have with Z-A at the moment. There are probably more if I look hard enough or do a little other things, but for me personally, I enjoyed this game. The negatives really don't outweigh the positives, as we're going to mention. So, I mean, without further ado, if you hate the game, don't continue onwards, but the Z-A Royale is actually pretty fun in concept. Climbing your way to the top is really fun, and seeing which character is next on your list to destroy to climb to the top will always bring joy to me. During the actual story, you skip 14 ranks. I was salty at this when this first happened, but honestly, I think it was a good idea. Especially after the post game where you have to grind the 14 ranks, I understand why they wanted to skip it. I just want to mention that in the post game, your first person Zach, who is the eternal Z rank, is the weakest person in the post game. He's like level 9. It's very funny. Legends Z-A story is still bland to me, and I still think that a lot of things at the end of the game doesn't really interest me, and I still stand by this. The strength of the game, though, is its characters. This is probably the best written cast we have ever had in Pokemon. Tawny, or Urbane, but I went with Tawny, is my personal favorite character in Legends Z-A. For a lot of the story, she does really care about helping make Hotel Z a thriving place for all to enjoy. This can include the following ways: forcing a tourist to do an ad when they get to the city, or going into massive debt with the mafia trying to make an ad. That's not all she does though. In the final act, she really becomes her own character, expressing how much she wants to help out because of what AZ has done for her. She knows she's not a bigger piece of the puzzle, and she's not strong compared to the protagonist, but she still wants to be there. The post-game twist at the very end is kind of random. Her family thing, sure, but it fits her character well, and I think she is definitely the best written rival we've ever seen. She's so well written that you don't even have to win against her to progress the story. The only rival to ever do that. Lita is probably my least favorite supporting character in MZ. It doesn't mean she's bad though. Besides leading the meetings for Team MZ, the story doesn't really flesh her out that much. I will say the struggle of not wanting to evolve your Pokemon because you like it the way it is a struggle that I can realistically see happen in the Pokemon world. Also, the rent thing is very funny, and it's pretty relatable nowadays. Naveen. Naveen. Where to begin? From being the character that feels like you don't know anything about that much until Lita forces you, Naveen really does seem to grow as a character in the story. From watching him hate on Tawny's cooking, to eventually trying it and coming around to it, he comes around a lot in the story. He struggles with the fact that his grandmother believes Naveen should have been the one to walk down a different path than the one he wants to with fashion. To find his own footstep in the world that is not watching streamers. Naveen, for the second half of the game, becomes a Kanari fanboy, and it completely ruins his character because that's all he becomes at the very end of the game. And there are some funny things that happen with it, but they just ruin it. Speaking of which, Kanari is a bag of all trades. She is the idol of this game, and I like a lot more than Ino. I think it is very funny when she swears her ass off when she loses, or the Discord mods and the Redditors worshipping her, or the funniest thing where her granddad becomes a hologram of her. She certainly is a character that you just can't help but love, and is way better written than Ino, and actually made me care about her in the story. Corbu, I believe that's how you pronounce it, I'm really bad with names, sorry, is a really fun character. I have a friend who hates him, but I really don't hate him. I love that you watch him become this imposing threat to MZ until he eventually becomes one of your greatest allies. He also has Mega Scolipede, which is so cool, gets bonus points. His story arc is one of my personal favorites. The whole gang going into debt because of her promotional video is very funny. The human ladder at the very end of the game was phenomenal, and the fall where he holds his hand and falls back will never not be hilarious. Thank you, Corbu. Josathy is a pretty enduring character. Her whole gimmick is that she wants you to battle in the tournament, and you better battle in the tournament because she wants to find the strongest trainer. She'll go to ranks to make sure she battles with you. I love her arc. Her arc was really funny. She mocks the players for what they're doing, saying how her tournaments are way better than what you're doing with the Rogue Megas. That is very funny. Also, her invading Team MZ just to talk about tournaments is really funny. The Josathy zone at the very end is very clever. She's a good character, just a really good character. The last one I want to mention before we get into some other characters is Emma. Emma is kind of useless in the game. It's super cool she's here. She follows X and Y post game. I like the whole Malamar thing, referencing her being mind controlled in X and Y. Really cool, makes a lot of sense. I hope she is present in the DLC. I hope she does a lot more. The part in the sewers was really funny with Ivor, who I'm not going to be mentioning because I don't really have a lot to say. But really funny, really good character. I hope they use her a lot more. Really, the only gripe I have with her is they don't use her much in AZ. AZ, he was kind of just there. Ironic, yeah, he does do things. He explains the ultimate weapon for the characters. He gives the Mega Stone of your starter and tells you about the second ultimate weapon. And he, at the very end, he entrusts you and Tawny, mainly Tawny, with Mega Floette. And he does try to make amends to his past, and that's cool. But like I said, he's kind of just there. But that's not what makes his character so interesting. What I really like about his character is that they don't try to hide from his past. He knows what he does wrong, and trying to make amends for it now is just over for him. His fate has been completely undecided as you continue in the game. It's not something I've expected at all. The ending twist that he is dead the first time really any Pokemon character dies that is in the main game was what I'd not expected. There was clues, definitely clues, but I just didn't notice it, and I think that was really cool. His Floette will no longer have her trainer, but on the bright side, it doesn't have to suffer. My personal favorite thing was L or Lysander. It's really a joy to behold. Losing all his memories, he roams around Lumia City with the help of Zygarde after it saved its life. Now he follows it in order to protect the city. His reveal in and of itself was a mastermind that I did not expect the game to go down, and I'm so glad they did. His redemption was really cool. It makes sense that he lost his memories and tries to help you, but even after he actually gains his memories back, he still keeps the world the same, but he's not gonna let himself choose, he's gonna let others choose. He, like AZ, has been now cursed with 3,000 year extended lifespan from the ultimate weapon. So, he's now going to walk the earth and see how we can make the world a better place that he imagines. And he brings up questions that really a lot of people in this game bring up too, like Ivor. Why are we dividing the city between people and Pokemon? Why are things like this? The CEO is not a good person. They're doing a lot of shady things. And he brings up these questions, but it never feels like he's gonna act on it. He's just like, I guess we need to let the people decide how they want to do. And I think that is a perfect redemption for his character. And definitely one of my favorite, probably my second favorite behind Tawny in this game. The final act of the story is a highlight for me. The final boss is really underwhelming. It's really boring. It's just flower tentacles that are typeless. The Angie reveal is cool, I guess. The Angie being underneath Prism Tower, that's cool. It really serves as just a cutscene for Zygarde, which it felt like the first half was the true final boss, and the second half is just cutscene. That's okay. The highlight to me is every character coming at the very end to help you and Team MZ out of despair. One of the best parts, and not a lot of Pokemon games do that, where they have every character that you've seen and been through coming at the very end. I think the only game that comes close to is Black and White. So, and I love Black and White, so it really just emphasizes how much I like this cast. Everybody got a chance to sign, even the characters I didn't even mention. It was just a treat to behold and really something special. And I'm so glad they did that, even if the final boss itself was very underwhelming. Enough of the story though, I want to move on to the gameplay. Despite all I've said before, I really do enjoy the gameplay. Being able to dodge attacks is so fun, makes me feel like I am inside of a fight in the anime. Having the combat be a watered down Xenoblade game is hands down the best thing they could have ever done. Even if it's watered down, it is still really fun. I love that I can be strategic now on which way we can take out the Pokemon. I love that we can position ourselves to get a better angle. I love this so much. The Mega Battles are my favorite part of the game. Having each single Mega Pokemon that you fight having a unique style and a unique way to fight them is a joy, and I love it. The Canary plushes actually being upgrades for the characters is something Pokemon has sorely needed, and I really love it. It feels like you can go at your own pace instead of being forced to get the upgrades or forced to. It feels like, well, because you don't need them at the end of the day, so you can just not get them, and it's really cool. I like that alphas are back. Thank you. It makes the world more stressful. Doing it the alpha theme is really, it makes you stressed. The wild zones are a lot of fun, even if they're compact. I think being compact is what makes it so fun, that you're just constantly hit with stuff, and it's a lot harder to sneak around. I also really like that at the beginning of the game, the city blends in on itself, and they didn't do that intentional. But I really like that. The structures and the places will all look at the same, but by like the end of your 60-hour adventure, you're really gonna come to know every single part of the city. And it makes you feel like you've actually lived inside of the city, which not a lot of games can do. I want to mention now my team before we conclude this review. Feraligatr was my starter. I chose this run because I love Feraligatr, I love Totodile, and it was the heart of the team. If I ever needed a Mon that could do anything, he would always be there. I definitely did not like his Mega at first, but I came around to it. My Alpha Scolipede was a lot of fun to use. I always wanted to use a Scolipede on a Pokemon run, so finally getting the chance to use one is really satisfying. His Mega was a delight and a highlight. I love his Mega. The only member of the team who could not Mega Evolve was my Delphox. I wanted to use one for quite a while now, and I'm glad I did. Became my personal favorite of the 3 Kalos, and I can't wait to see its Mega Shine in the DLC. The reason I made that video before was because I really wanted to use a Mega Delphox. I wanted to, it looks so cool, but I couldn't. So I really hope in the DLC it gets to shine. I used a Mega Clefable that was extremely over leveled. It was like 5 levels above my other party. Regardless, she easily became the mother of the group, stepping in whenever one of my Pokemon got hurt. Her new Mega was a joy, becoming a flying fairy. I love Mega Clefable. Mega Scrafty is a cool, he's menacing. Sadly, he was sort of the weakest member of the group. There wasn't really a lot of options to use him, but when I did get to use him, there was a lot of punches being thrown around. Mega Scrafty, really cool, just unfortunately the weakest link of my team. Lastly, my ace, the one that really stand out, was my Mega Excadrill. I love Excadrill, one of my favorite Pokemons of all time, but he's one of the most useful Lons inside of Z-A. If you need a solid ground type and a steel type, he is the person. I love Excadrill. Z-A made me love it even more. I love Mega Excadrill's design. I just love everything about Excadrill. Thank you. I had some other Mons I used on my journey, like I used a Victory Bell and a Gengar, and I had like some other Mons I used, but those 6 were the ones I beat the game with, the ones I beat the post game with, and the one I did pretty much everything with. The last Mon I would like to mention though, I used a Dragonite. I just want to praise Dragonite. He is so good to help you with the 1000 battles at the very end of the game. I named him Jay Jr. after a really great friend, and he was really helpful, really good, and I loved it. I didn't Mega Evolve it, I just used the normal gem, Extreme Speed, and it really just crushed everything around it, and it made the battles go so much quicker. So if you're struggling at the very end with 1000 battles, just use a Dragonite. It will, yeah, Dragonite Extreme Speed goes fucking hard. There's quite a lot I can say about this game, even some things I didn't even mention about. The game has plenty of flaws that even I agree with the same people that crave this game as the downfall of Pokemon. Despite all of that, I had a ton of fun, and to me, that's what matters. Fun is what matters. Pokemon finally feels like it's heading into the direction that they've been wanting to go for a long time, and if this game proves anything, I think it will be a fun time. I did not want to rush this review. I did not want to play 6 hours of a review and call it a day, because it's not fair to any game I play. I want to take my time experiencing things, and I did just that. Pokemon Z-A will be another Pokemon game for many, or maybe even a controversial one. Could be your least favorite one. To me, though, Pokémon Legends Z-A shows a brighter future, where if those games have extra time, they could be good. I can't believe I'll say this, but this JPEG looking ass game really did re-spark my love for Pokemon. I originally wanted to get this video out November 4th. It is now November 27th, and I just finished the video. So Yeah, I just kind of wanted to just give my thoughts. A lot of things I'm going to improve on in the future. There's a lot of like, or like things I wish I could have done differently. This review, I almost didn't even get out this review. I was gonna completely scrap it, but I'm like, I gotta finish it. My friends are like, you gotta finish it, just get it out there. I'm not completely satisfied by it. But my thoughts, relatively, I agree with my thoughts. It's just I don't think the execution was well. I missed, spoke a lot of words, a lot of like dead space, but like like that. And then like I'm really bad editor. I don't like editing. I really learned that. I fucking hate editing. Editing sucks. Oh my god, not for me. But I can get through with it with the simple edits for now. Yeah, my next project. I don't want to give it away yet. I have an idea for it. It's going to be an older game. I'll give it that. It's going to be an older game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I have to actually replay the game. I'm going to record the, footage for that, because I didn't record, because I just forgot to. Didn't record any footage for this. Oops. In the meantime, though, there should be I think I'm going to have an end of the year video coming out. Might be before or after the next video. I have no idea. Like, again, I don't know the schedule, but I wanted to get this out sooner. Like I said, college was a bitch, and that was the main reason why I could not get it done sooner. But now that it's over, I'm going to have more time to actually work on these videos and stuff. So that's going to be fun. I have a little bit more ideas going forward. They're going to be probably, I think, game reviews for a bit. The next one is most definitely a game review. But, so yeah, I have a lot of fun stuff with that. A lot of other things. Yeah, so the next video, it should either be, I think, the end of the year video, or maybe a different video, whatever comes out. Really, whatever comes out next, and I really want to talk about. That's kind of this whole point of this channel. But yeah, thank you all. I'm glad it's done. Thank you to everyone, and yeah, that's about it. I don't really want to thank anybody because it was my hard work. I mean, I'm gonna put it in the description. I didn't even ask them, but I did use your footage. My fault. I just forgot to record, so you're gonna get all proper credits and stuff. Next time I'm gonna learn what to actually record the thing. So, yeah, that's really about it. I guess I'll give you, because I don't fully know what it is yet. So after this, I gotta go figure out what I'm actually gonna do, and then I'm gonna start it. So, yeah, that's fun. This is just me rambling at the end of a review. Why? Who does that? Yeah, like I said, I am very new to this. So any actually, the last thing is any actual criticism for the video, I would greatly appreciate, or things I could do better and improve on. I would greatly appreciate that. Because I don't think this is a perfect video, and I want to improve. So if you have anything that I can improve on, go ahead, tell me. Even if you're like, I fucking hate the video. This video sucks. You like Z-A, it's fine. Just give me criticism and stuff, and I'll obviously take that for the next video. Alrighty, that is about it. I'm streaming the Game Awards. Yeah, thank you all. Goodbye. We're done. Goodbye.